This is the story of George Bailey, an ordinary man who lives in Bedford Falls, New York. But George Bailey, more than anything, wanted to see the world, the exciting world that lay somewhere beyond his hometown. However, our story doesn't begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in this world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels is briefing an apprentice angel named Clarence.
Clarence Oddbody, Angel, second class, reporting for duty, Your Honor. Are you really sending me down to Earth?
Yes. You see, there's a man in trouble down there. At precisely 10:45 p.m., Earth time, a man named George Bailey will be thinking about ending his life.
Oh my! You want me to stop him? Well then, maybe I can finally earn my wings. I've only been waiting 200 years.
Listen, Clarence, you must stop him, if you can. Now, let me brief you about George Bailey's case history. You see, when George was a boy...
Oh, that's okay, Your Honor. All I need is a plan. You see, Your Honor, I'm reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Mark Twain. Tom Sawyer always has a plan.
I see. Well, if you can help George Bailey with your plan, Clarence, you may just get your wings.
Yes! Thank you for your confidence in me, boss.
Now, when George Bailey was a boy, his little brother fell through the ice.
And George jumped in to save him?
Yes, but as a result, George has a bad ear.
Sure. Icy water. Infection.
A few months later, young George was working after school at Gower's drugstore, but on this day, Mr. Gower's only son died of influenza. Devastated, Mr. Gower was trying to drown his sorrows in whiskey when he told George to deliver a prescription.
Did you deliver that prescription?
Well, no, Mr. Gower,
Why didn't you deliver that right away? The little blind girl's sick. You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower, here it is.
Here? Why, you...
Ow, Mr. Gower, my ear.
You good-for-nothing, lazy loafer.
Ow, you're hurting my ear. No, Mr. Gower, you put something wrong in these pills.
Shut up, you little...
Look, I know you're sad, but you put something bad in these capsules. It's poison.
Poison? Poison? Oh my god.
Don't hurt my sore ear again, please.
Oh, George. George.
That's why I didn't deliver it. I will never tell a soul, Mr. Gower. I won't tell anyone. Hope to God.
Well, George grew up, and he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't enough money. So he worked 4 years at the Bailey Building and Loan Association.
Building and loan?
Yes, George's father was in the building and loan business, he and George's Uncle Billy. But it was a case of high ideals and low bank account.
Those two always seem to go together.
George worked for his father and saved enough money to pay for college. But first, he was going to summer in Europe, working his way across on a cattle boat.
Gee, it's hard to believe that this is my last night in the old Bailey boarding house.
We'll all miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Ma. And you too, Pop. But hey, what's the matter? You look kind of tired.
I had another run-in with Henry Potter today.
That old money-grubbing buzzard, I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up a little. I don't understand somebody like Mr. Potter.
Potter owns about everything he wants in town. Everything except the Bailey Building and Loan. Maybe that's why he hates us.
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo cufflinks for tonight's dance?
Sure, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? Here? In your suitcase? Say, where'd you get that beat-up old suitcase anyway, George?
At the Emporium, Harry. Mr. Gower bought it for George.
A going-away present?
Yep, far away. You see, one of these days, that bag will be plastered with travel stickers. You know, Rome, Baghdad, Samarkand.
I guess you're gonna have a pretty full summer, George.
Oh, I'm gonna have a pretty full life.
So, why don't you come to tonight's dance?
Nah, I'd be bored to death.
Oh, but what a wonderful day. Well, gotta run.
Was I like that when I graduated from high school?
Pretty much. I sure wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Yeah, but Harry can take over my job at the building alone, work for 4 years like I did, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job. Maybe you were just born old, George.
How's that, Pop? You know my trick here.
I said you were born old. George, when you get out of college, you wouldn't come back to the building and loan, would you?
Oh, no. Now, Pop, I just couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office with all those.
I see.
And oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean it like that. But just staying here, I'd go crazy. You see, I want to do something big, something important.
But in a small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people buy their own homes.
I know, Pop, but I feel like if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
I guess you're right. Get that education, then do what you want, son.
You know, Pop, you ready for a real shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thanks, George. Look, why don't you go on over to Harry's dance? You'll have fun.
I guess I could drop in. Maybe I will at that. See you later, Pop.
So, George went to a dance?
And at that dance, he fell in the pool with Mary Hatch. Later, he was walking her home. They were feeling pretty good, Clarence. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, eh, Mary?
We sound beautiful, George.
Hey, you know something, Mary? I'd almost say you're the prettiest girl in town. You look wonderful.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. Hey, how old are you anyway?
18.
18? Why, it seems only last year you were just 17. Hey, look where we are.
The old Granville house.
Yeah. I gotta throw a rock.
Oh no, George. Even though it's deserted, I love this old place.
Bah! With deserted houses, you can make a wish and then try to bust a window.
But it's such a lovely old house. I want to live there someday.
In there. I wouldn't live there if I were a ghost. Now watch. How about that, huh? Pretty good shot, eh? Broke that window.
What'd you wish for, George?
Wish? Oh, I don't know. Not just one wish, Mary. A whole hat full of them. You see, I'm leaving this crummy little town. I want to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, and that's just this summer. And then I'm coming back to go to college, see what they know, of course.
Of course.
And then I'm gonna build things. I'm gonna build airfields and bridges a mile long. And then I'm gonna come on, Mary. What is it that you want? Do you want the moon? All you gotta say the word. All you gotta do is say the word, and I'll just.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Then what? Well, then you swallow it, and it dissolves. Moonbeams shoot out of your fingers, and then. Do you think I'm talking too much?
Yes, why don't you just kiss her already?
How's that? Say what?
All the youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, just a minute. Hey, you, come back here. I'll show you some kissing that'll.
George!
Uncle Billy, look. I'm gonna kiss Mary. Watch.
George, get in the car quick. It's your father. He's had a stroke.
What? My father?
Come on, George. Get in, hurry.
Well, George's father died that night, Clarence. And that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting.
You know, I think it's just too sad that Harry Bailey
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman! Mr. Potter, now that Peter Bailey is dead, I move that we dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to a receiver. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. Ideals without common sense can ruin this town. And what's that get us? A discontented, lazy rabble, instead of a thrifty working class. Now who'll second my motion to dissolve?
Hold on, Mr. Potter.
Oh, I meant no disrespect, George, but your father...
Now wait a minute. Why my father started this penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter. That rabble you're talking about, well, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community.
So?
Well, is it too much to have them work, pay, live, and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, Mr. Potter, my father died a richer man than you'll ever be.
Well, I'm not interested in your book, George. I'm talking about the building and loan.
No, you're talking about something you can't get your greedy hands on. It's galling at you. That's why you're talking about it. That's what you're talking about. Well, this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can borrow a few dollars without crawling to Mr. Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
So what happened, George?
Oh, you won't believe it. Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George.
Oh, yeah. Right now, they're voting us out of the business.
Well, who cares? Well, you get out of here, George. You missed your boat trip. Do you want to miss college, too?
Now, Mr. Potter, I don't think you're right for the job.
George, they just voted Potter down.
Whoopee! We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? I'm leaving for college right now. Uncle Billy's your man.
George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so. Without you, he'll get it.
So, George Bailey didn't make it to college, boss?
No, he didn't, Clarence. George gave his college money to his brother Harry. Harry went instead.
But what about that girl? You know, Mary.
Oh, George saw her now and again. But Mary also went away to college, and George worked 4 more years at the building and loan, waiting for Harry to finish school, come back, and take over. George still hoped to see the world, though. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela, except when Harry came back, he brought a girl with him. A wife.
So, George, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Ruth? Oh, she's swell. Harry's got all the luck.
She'll keep him on his toes.
Well, just keep him out of Bedford Falls anyways.
No. Ruth's father has had a good job for Harry, up in Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. And that means...
Oh, then you can't. I'm sorry, George.
Yeah.
Well, did you know Mary Hatch is back from college too? Nice girl, that Mary.
I suppose.
Oh, stop this moping, George Bailey. It's not like you.
Well, what do you want me to do, Mother?
Give me one reason why you shouldn't go see Mary.
Well, how about Sam Wainwright, for one? Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about him. Mary's got her eye on you, George. Besides, Sam Wainwright is in New York.
Okay, Mother. Trying to get rid of me, eh? Well, I think I'll go find some girl to do some passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Good night, Mrs. Bailey. And by the way, do you need any books from the library?
Library? George, you go and see Mary. Do you hear?
George, what are you doing out there?
What? Oh, me? I was just passing by.
Yes, several times. I wondered if you were picketing or haunting me.
Now, why would I be...
Your mother phoned, saying you were coming over?
My mother phone? Well, I just happened to be passing by, that's all.
Are you coming in or aren't you?
Well, all right, if you insist. I'll come in. For a minute.
So, it's nice about Harry and his new wife, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruth. It's okay.
What's the matter? You don't like her?
Well, of course I do. Ruth's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're down on, huh?
No. Marriage is all right. For some people, I mean, it's fine for Harry, for Sam Wainwright, and for you.
For Sam? Mary? Who's down there? It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Nothing. Not a thing!
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
He is? You told him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright said he called tonight from New York.
I guess so, Mother. So, George, how about a little music in here?
You know, your mother mother shouldn't... Oh, that. Now, I didn't overcome here just to...
Well, what did you come here for?
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be the girl with all the answers. So how about you tell me why?
Oh, why don't you just go home?
Okay, I will go home.
Mary, the telephone.
I don't know why I even came here.
Mary.
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, maybe it's Sam. Answer it.
All right, I'll get it, Mother. Oh, George, on your way out, could you turn off the phonograph?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Stupid song.
Hello, Hatch residence. Sam?
Hey, Mary, it's good to hear your voice. Excuse me, Mary, it seems I forgot my hat.
Oh, Sam, how nice of you to call. You know, Sam, an old friend of yours is here, George Bailey.
What? Oh, Mossback George? In person?
Yep, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw! We'll put old George on. I want to say hi.
Oh, wait a minute, Sam. George!
Mary, you idiot. Sam doesn't want to talk to George.
He does too. He even asked for George.
Yeah, what is it, Mary? You see, I'm in a hurry and I gotta get to the
Wait, it's Sam Wainwright. He wants to talk to you.
Sam Wainwright? Oh. Hi, Sam? Some pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl? Steal your... Hey, nobody's trying to steal any girl. Mary, here's Sam again. No, wait a minute, George, wait. I want to speak to both of you. Put Mary on the extension upstairs. He wants you to get on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension upstairs.
I am not.
George, just put your head a little closer. We can both hear. Sam, we're both on the line.
Good. Now, I have a plan that's going to make us all rich. George, you remember that one time in Martini's Tavern, you told me about making plastics out of, chili beans? No, soybeans. I mean soybeans. Oh, yeah. Yeah, soybeans. Okay. Well, my father's investing in it, George. We're going to open a factory. We might even have a job for you. That is, if you're not still married to that broken down old building and loan. We'll have to see, Sam. Oh, Mary, tell George this is the chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me the phone.
George!
Now listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, any job, and I don't want to get married, ever, to anyone. Do you understand me?
George!
And I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to trick me into any... Mary, oh, Mary, I...
And so, Clarence, George and Mary were married that October, and the two headed off for their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxicab.
So, where are you two heading on this deluxe honeymoon?
We're shooting the works, Ernie. It'll be the highest hotel, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and prettiest wife.
You're finally getting out of Bedford Falls. Then what?
Gee, I don't know. Then what, dear?
The moon! Who cares?
Oh my God.
Hey, George. There's something going on in the bank. A run looks like.
What? Pull over, Ernie.
Oh, George! No, let's not stop. Please. Ernie, just go straight to the train station. George, don't.
Wait a minute, honey. I gotta see what this is. I'll be back in a second.
No, George! Please! George, don't go!
We'll return to the CHS Radio Theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life in just a moment. Looking for that perfect gift for your favorite college sports fan? We have the perfect gift that blends a fun, factual sports story about their favorite team, and it is tied to a daily scripture that brings together both their faith and their passion for their team. This unique paperback book is a daily devotional that starts your fans' day off encouraged and uplifted, and even more knowledgeable about their favorite team. With 48 colleges, including Virginia Tech, University of Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Georgia, you are sure to give them the gift they'll love the most. You can find daily devotions for die-hard fans and also our kids version, Daily Devotions for Die-Hard Kids, at our website, diehardfans.com, or call 540-251-3356 and order one for your favorite team today. At only $15.99 each, you can complete your whole Christmas list. Don't delay, order today. Daily devotions for die-hard fans. You know what I like to do when I wake up in the morning? Breathe. And now both you and I can with the incredible new invention, trees. Trees are a multi-purpose product created by God themselves. They can provide air, decorate any outdoor living space, and be a home for your animal friends. A tree can be yours for the small price of $1 million. But wait, there's more. If you buy 2 trees today, you receive a special premium tree for free. With your order, premium trees can produce apples, pears, even cherries. So remember to order yourself a tree today. Tammy Heft, the counselor of the class of 2021, wants to give a huge shout out to the seniors involved in this show. Caden Berg, Karis Camper, Alea Lewis, Quentin Nicholson, Brennan O'Reilly, Jacob Rhodes, Jack Slaughter, and Lena Webb. You guys are awesome. 2 of the CHS Radio Theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. In heaven, the superintendent of angels is still reviewing George Bailey's case history. Clarence, an apprentice angel, is eager to depart for his mission to Earth.
Goodness, boss. I've heard enough background. If George Bailey's contemplating suicide, I'd better head down to Earth right away.
Hold it, Clarence. We're not anywhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life. Now, where were we?
George and Mary were heading out of town on their honeymoon when they ran into a run. A bank run, I mean.
Ah, yes. It was the financial panic of 1932. You see, bank troubles were very prevalent back then.
Oh my God, stocks are through the roof! Stocks are through the roof! Just believe this. Whoa, what's going on, boss?
In the lobby of the building and loan, dozens of worried shareholders were clamoring for their savings. Meanwhile, George found Uncle Billy in his office.
It's a bank. Immediately. I handed over all our cash. I had to.
You handed over all our cash? But that means...
The whole town's gone nuts, George. Now we're in the same pickle as the bank.
But our charter requires we stay open till 6 p.m. If we don't, the state will take our license away.
Stay open until 6? Without any money?
Come on, let's just see what the crowd's like out there.
George,
Okay, hold on now, please. Now, please, everybody, don't panic.
We want our money, George. Where's our money?
George.
Oh, come on, everybody. Wait just a minute. Listen here. You've got it all wrong. Your money isn't here.
What are you doing?
Just a minute. Let me explain. Your money's not here. It's not in the safe. No, the money you've invested in this building and loan was put into the people's houses. It's in Ernie's house. It's in your house. It's in 100 other houses. Do you want me to foreclose on all of them? To throw people out of their streets?
I say you do what you have to do.
I just want our money.
I have $242 in shares here. Close my account. I want my money now.
Yeah, we want our money too.
Okay, Charlene. Okay, sign this form and you'll get your money back in 60 days.
60 days?
What is
What do you mean 60 days?
Well, that's what you all agreed to when you bought our shares.
Huh, I got my money.
Where?
Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on the dollar for your shares.
Really?
Come on, let's take our shares to Potter. Half is better than nothing.
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, come on, please, folks, don't do this. Stop! Okay, listen. If Potter gets a hold of the building and loan, there won't be a decent house built in this town again. Can't you see? He's already taken over the bank. He's already got the bus line, the department store, and now he's after us. He wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the rent that he decides.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of fine talk, George, but I've got doctor bills to
Yeah.
pay. My husband got laid off.
We can't feed our kids on faith.
That's right.
What are you supposed to do about that?
George, darling,
Hey, Mary.
how much money do they need? We still got some money. The honeymoon money.
Yeah. Wait, folks. I've got $2,000 here.
That's not.
Okay, we've got some cash. All right, Charlene, how much money do you need?
$242.
Okay, come on, Charlene. Can you just get enough to tide you over?
I want my $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Charlene here $242. Okay, all right, Mrs. Davis, you.
$17 then.
Thank you. Okay, who's next now? Okay, let's try to spread it out. Let's keep it spread out. Do you want to go next? Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Look at the clock, George. Look.
I'm looking, Uncle Billy. I'm looking. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1.
6 o'clock.
Yes.
Woo! We made it.
Lock the door. Lock that door. We're still in business, Uncle Billy. Even if we only got $2.
George, telephone.
Okay, Tilly. Oh, by the way, call my wife, will you? I forgot all about
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
No, I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want Mrs. Bailey. Wait. Oh, right. That is my wife. All right, give me the phone already, will you? Hello? Is this Mrs. Bailey?
Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey.
Well, Mary, we survived. I'm sorry,
Now that you're done saving things, come home.
what?
Come home.
Come home. Well, what home?
Our home.
What?
Our home, George, at 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore, huh? Well, whose home is that?
Our home.
What?
Our home, sack home.
But Mary, how could we have a...
Right now.
Right now. Okay. Sure, all right, sure.
I love you.
I love you too, honey. I'm coming home.
Clarence, do you know where 320 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house?
Nope. It was the old Granville house, where George and Mary threw rocks and made wishes. You see, her wish was to marry George and live in the Granville house. And that's where they honeymooned, that's where they set up house, and that's where they were still living 2 years later, when Mr. Potter asked George to drop by his office.
Now, George, I suppose you're wondering why you're here.
I have no idea, Mr. Potter, but I'm sure you do.
Now, look, you're a young man, 27, 28, married, making what, $40 a week?
45.
Okay, 45. And if you were a common, ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing well. However, you're no common, ordinary yokel, son. You're an intelligent, resourceful, ambitious young man who hates his job. Yes, you hate the building and loan, almost as much as I do. George, you've been dying to get out of this town ever since you were born. You see your friends, your brother, go places. Well, you're trapped here, trapped into frittering away your life, playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Is this a correct picture, George? Or do I exaggerate?
So, what's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that I want to hire you, George.
Hire me? To do what?
To manage my affairs, oversee my properties, and I can start you off at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year? I'm sure you're talking to me. I'm George Bailey, remember? The building and loan, George Bailey.
Yes, the George Bailey whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains to climb aboard.
Yes, yeah, but what about the building and loan?
Forget the building and loan. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Do we have a deal or not?
No, I can't do it. Even if you offered me $1 million to stay in Bedford Falls, to be your stooge, the answer would still be no. Now let me out of here. I'm sorry I'm late, Mary.
Just knitting, George. So, what did Mr. Potter want to see you about?
Oh, nothing really. Just talk, you know. But geez, why did you marry a guy like me anyway?
Well, I didn't want to be an old maid.
But I was gonna see the world, go places, build things. I was gonna give you the moon. But instead, what have I given you? Huh? Not much. Some husband I am. I feel terrible.
Me too. Mornings, especially.
I mean, you could have married Sam Wainwright. Anybody else.
But I didn't want anybody else. I wanted my baby to look like you.
You didn't even get a honeymoon. You what?
My baby?
Baby? What? You mean you're on the nest?
Well, Clarence, Mary had her baby, a boy.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
And then another one, a girl.
Well, good for them.
But George slaved away at the building and loan, and Potter made things tough for him. Then came the war. Mary had another baby, but still found time to run the USO. Uncle Billy and Mr. Gower sold war bonds, and George's brother Harry became a real hero. He shot down 15 planes.
And George? What did George do in the war?
Well, George was 4F, due to his bad ear. He was an air raid warden, but on VE Day, he wept and prayed. And on VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
Well then, we're just about up to date today.
Yes, the only thing you don't know about George Bailey is what has him down there at this moment wanting to die.
Suicide. Well, what is it, boss?
All right, today is the day before Christmas, and George is very excited.
Whew! Dilly, did you see the newspaper? Commander Harry Bailey decorated by President, my brother, the Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, that's just swell.
Commander Bailey downed 15 enemy planes, the last a kamikaze, just as it was about to dive on into a troop transport. Think of it, Harry saved hundreds of lives.
George, the bank examiner's here.
The annual audit, right. Well, good afternoon,
Carter, bank examiner.
Tilly, bring Mr. Carter here to the conference room and bring the books. And where's Uncle Billy?
He's depositing $8,000 at the bank.
Well, Mr. Potter, here to personally guard your money?
Look out, Bailey, you old fool. My wheelchair.
Did you see the news? Harry Bailey gets Medal of Honor. What'll those Bailey boys do next?
Huh? Let me see that newspaper.
Sure, here. Sorry I can't chat more, you old thief. I gotta go make a deposit.
Next customer, please.
Hello, let's see here. Here you are, bank book, deposit slip, and a Merry Christmas to you.
To you too, Mr. Bailey, but, haven't you forgotten something?
I forget things all the time.
So, Mr. Bailey, where's the money?
What?
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
The money. The money! It's gone! Where'd I put the money?
Pull me out of here.
Take note, Clarence. Uncle Billy couldn't find the deposit money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in the newspaper he gave to Mr. Potter.
The money was in the newspaper? So that's why George and Uncle Billy were scouring the street.
I just don't know what happened to it, George. I just don't know.
$8,000. And the bank examiner's here. It belongs to the depositors.
Oh, we've traced every step I took.
Well, maybe you never put it in the envelope in your pocket in the first place.
Maybe. But I'm no good to you, George. No good.
Now where's that money, you old fool? This means bankruptcy, scandal, prison. And one of us is going to jail, and it won't be me. You keep looking, you fool. I'm going home.
George!
George! You haven't said a word since you came home. Well, was Zuzu sleeping?
No, she was showing me some flower pies she won at school. I touched it and a few petals fell off. She asked me to fix it, but Does Janie have to keep playing that over and over again?
I gotta practice for the Christmas party, Daddy.
What is it, dear? Hectic day?
Oh yeah, a real red letter day for the Baileys.
Hey, Dad, the Browns got a brand new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Not good enough for you?
Sorry, Dad. I only...
Run along now, please.
Why is Zuzu in bed so early anyway?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. Didn't button up her coat. She didn't want to crush that prize flower, so...
What do you mean a little cold?
It's okay, dear. The doctor said it was nothing serious.
The doctor came. It's this drafty old house. It's a wonder we all don't have pneumonia.
George.
I mean, why do we live here in the first place? Why in this crummy little town?
What's wrong, dear?
Everything's wrong. Oh, why do we have to have all these kids anyway?
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Hello? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. She'll be all right.
Who is it, Mary?
It's Mrs. Welch, Zuzu's teacher. What? Oh, well, the doctor says she should be out of bed and she said...
Mary, give me that phone.
George, please.
Is this Mrs. Welch? Well, this is Mr. Bailey. And now, what kind of teacher are you? Do you realize she could get pneumonia because of you?
George!
Silly, careless people like you, sending kids home half naked. You know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed. And, hello? Janice! Enough with the piano! Cut it out!
Oh, Daddy!
George, whatever's wrong with you? But you torture the children too.
I'm sorry, Janie. I'm sorry, Mary.
George.
I just gotta get out of here.
So, you're $8,000 short in your accounts, George. You say the money was lost? What if it was stolen? You should notify the police.
No, sir. You see, Harry's homecoming is tomorrow, and well, the publicity would...
So you've come to me? For a loan? Why not your buddy, Sam Wainwright?
Well, I tried to get a hold of him, but he's in Europe right now.
So you want a loan from me? For $8,000? What do you have as collateral, George?
Well, I have some life insurance. Here, a $15,000 policy. It's
$15,000, you say? But what's your equity in it?
$500.
$500? And you want an emergency loan on Christmas Eve for $8,000?
Yes.
You're pathetic, George Bailey. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, George Bailey, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man? Look at you now, crawling to me for help. Go to the riffraff you love so much. Go beg them for help.
Please, Mr. Potter, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to swear out a warrant for your arrest. Get out of here.
The nerve of that Henry Potter. He had George's $8,000 sitting in his desk drawer.
What will George do now, boss? Where is he?
Well, he's at Martini's Tavern. George has had a couple of drinks. He's dazed. Just standing there.
No, it's been a very long day. It's been a long day.
Oh, Father, who art thou in heaven? God, I've never been a praying man, but if you're listening, show me the way. Please, I'm lost, God. Lost, please.
Mr. Bailey? You all right? Mr. Martini, George, you don't look so good.
You're right, Nick. Mr. Bailey, you drink too much, my friend.
Bailey? Which Bailey are you talking about?
This Mr. Bailey, Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey? Why, you... Oh! Listen, Bailey, if you ever talk to my wife that again, you'll get even worse. Ain't it enough she slaves away teaching your stupid kids how to read and write? Then you gotta bawl her out on the phone.
Hey, beat it, Mr. Welch. You punching my best friend. Out of here, go! Throw him out, Nick.
Go on, Welch, beat it.
All right, I'm going.
Mr. Bailey, you okay? How you doing?
Oh, Martini, who was that?
That's the Mr. Welch. He don't come here no more. Wait, Mr. Bailey, I got something for your face. Look, the blood.
No, that's all right.
Please, don't go, Mr. Bailey. Stay.
Go on. Let me be. Alone, please. You hear?
Well, Clarence, George is now at the river. He's about to jump. Do you have your plan ready?
I don't know, boss.
Well, if you can save George Bailey's life, you'll get your wings.
My wings? Oh, yes, my wings! I won't let you down, boss. George Bailey, don't jump! George, you get away from that bridge! George, stop!
We'll return to the CHS Radio Theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life in just a moment. Good food isn't hard to find. It's right in your town at the Christiansburg Outback Steakhouse. We're known for our high-quality, bold flavor steaks that are customized to your preference of cut and temperature. Try one of our steak and lobster combos for only $30, or order our signature bloomin' onion for your whole family. Want to get even more out of your food? Join our Dine Rewards at www.dinerewards.com. Christiansburg Outback Steakhouse, the place for your family, friends, and food. Delivery and pickup available. Order online or on the phone. Located at 295 Peppers Ferry Road, Christiansburg, Virginia. Call at 540-382-9596. Have you been good this year? Had a gift you couldn't afford but desperately want to give someone else? Or are you just a lazy person who doesn't want to bother getting presents this holiday season? Well, Santa's Workshop is just the place for you. Here at the North Pole, we're known for creating holiday miracles for you and your family. To get in contact with us, send letters to 123 Elf Road, North Pole, 88888. Send your holiday wishes here today. Are you looking for Bible-based church experience that will bring you closer to Jesus? A church where everyone knows everyone? Then welcome to Midway Community Church. Services are Sunday at 10 a.m. and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Follow us on Facebook at Midway Community Church. God bless you and Merry Christmas. And now, the thrilling conclusion of the CHS Radio Theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. A troubled George Bailey stands on the Bedford Falls toll bridge, convinced that he is worth more dead than alive. Deep in despair, George stares at the freezing waters below, poised to end it all, when suddenly...
Help! Help me! I'm drowning! Help! Help me!
Oh my God, wait, mister, here I come.
You two are sure lucky my toll booth is open tonight. Otherwise, you'd have froze to death jumping in the river like that. Are you warming up now?
Well, I'm okay. And you, mister?
Clarence, I'm fine. Although my underwear's a bit out of fashion. I passed away in it.
You passed what?
And Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
The name's George.
No, my book. I still had Tom Sawyer with me, but, you know, there is a Tom Sawyer quality to you, George. Lots of ideas. Wonderless. You know?
Well, so how did you fall in the river?
Fall in? I didn't fall in. I jumped in. Jumped in to save you, George.
Jumped in to save me.
Well, it worked, right? You didn't go through with your plan, did you?
Go through with what plan?
You know, suicide.
Hey, you can't commit suicide around here. I think it's against the law.
Well, it is where I come from.
Where do you come from, mister?
Oh, you know, heaven.
What?
Right.
George, you're bleeding. Your lip.
Oh, that? I got punched in the answer for prayer.
No, George. I'm the answer to your prayer. I was sent down from heaven to help you.
Oh, come on.
I'm Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
AS2?
You know, Angel, second class.
Angel? Right. Well, I'm going to see if any other angels just saved somebody.
Oh, Clarence, now why save me?
Because killing yourself is a sin, especially for $8,000. Oh, I know all about you, George Bailey. Remember? Guardian angel?
Uh-huh. And you're just the kind I'd get. Kind of angel. Angel? Huh. So where are your wings, then?
I'm an angel. Second class, George. I haven't won my wings yet, but you can help me earn them by letting me help you.
Help me? Okay. You can help me with, $8,000, could you?
Oh, but we don't use money in heaven.
Oh. Well, it sure comes handy down here, bub. I just found out a little too late. But since you know so much, did you know I'm worth more dead than alive?
Oh, don't talk that way, George. I'll never get my wings if you keep that up. You just don't realize what you've done for people. I mean, if it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, they'd all be better off. My wife, my kids, my friends. I'd wish I'd never been born.
Hey. You know, that's a good one, George.
Good what?
The plan you just gave me. It reminds me of Tom Sawyer. Well, let me see here.
Hey, what the?
Okay, George, you got your wish. You were never born.
Never born?
That's right. You have no worries, no missing $8,000. You don't exist.
Wait, my ear. Say something into my bad ear.
You heard me all right. You don't have a bad ear. That's because you're not the George Bailey you used to be. Now you're nobody.
That's nuts. But I can hear.
And your lips stopped bleeding.
Hey, it did. What's happening? I need a drink. Yeah, that's what. How about you, Angel? You want to join me for a drink?
A drink? Well, I'm on duty, you know.
Join me. When our clothes are dry, we can...
Oh, they are dry. They never got wet, you see?
Oh, okay. So let's dress and walk over to Martini's Tavern, and we'll have a... Oh, sorry, no wings. Well, after a few drinks, we'll both be flying.
What'll it be, fellas?
Nick, is Martini still here?
You want a martini? Or are you a wise guy?
No, just give me a double bourbon then.
And for you?
You know, I just love mulled wine with a dollop of nutmeg and just a dash of cloves. Up to it, my lively lad.
Mulled what?
That's okay, Nick. Just give him the same as me.
2 double bourbons.
Why is Nick acting like that? What's going on here? The tavern's all changed.
Bedford Falls has changed. You got your wish, George. You were never born. It's a different world without you. Ah, good. At least somebody made it.
Made what, Clarence?
Here are your drinks.
Well, you see, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
What'd you say? Angel?
Angel, second class.
Clarence, you don't want to be talking about angels in here.
Why? They don't believe in angels?
Sure, they believe in them, but...
So, they're surprised to actually see one?
In a bar. Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. We just never grew up.
But sure I did. Next September, I'll be 293.
2 pixies, eh? I'll bet you don't got no money either.
Well, of course not. We don't use money in heaven.
Well, this ain't heaven. That's enough. Out. Out. Get out of my bar.
Your bar? Where's Martini, Nick?
You ain't getting no martini. And how do you know my name anyways? I don't know you. Hey, you again.
Mr. Gower.
Spare change, sir. Spare some.
Oh no, Rummy. I told you never to come in here panhandling.
Mr. Gower? Mr. Gower, listen. You know me. I'm George Bailey. George Bailey.
Could you buy me a drink, mister? Just one. Please, mister.
Throw that Rummy out.
No, don't, please. Don't throw, no.
But that's Mr. Gower from the pharmacy.
Yeah, that rumhead did 20 years in prison for poisoning a kid. If you know him, maybe you're a jailbird too. Bill, get these 2 out of here. Out, out, out!
What happened to Mr. Gower? How could that be? Poisoning a kid?
Don't you see, George? You weren't there to stop Gower from putting the poison into the
What?
bottle.
I wasn't there? Sure I was there.
No, because you were not born.
Not born? Well, who am I then?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean? I'm George Bailey.
No, you're not. No papers, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals. I was gonna kind of fix them in their flower and I...
Well, they weren't there either, Aunt George. You may have put them in your pocket before, but now you don't exist.
It's gone. Gone. What? Am I a ghost?
See, you've been given a gift, George, to see the world. If you hadn't never been born.
You're nuts. And you're driving me nuts, too. I'm going home to see my wife and family. Did you hear? Now leave me alone. Step on it, Ernie. You gotta get me home. I'm losing my mind.
Uh-huh. So, where do you live, bub?
Now cut it out, Ernie. Don't pull the act on me. Don't pull that act on me. I live on 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore.
Listen, Ernie. I don't know what's going on here. I'm crazy or something. Maybe I had some bad liquor. Tell me now. Your name's Ernie Bishop, right? You live with your wife and son over in Bailey Park.
What? You've seen my wife?
I've seen your wife, of course I have. At your house 100 times. I built it for you, didn't I?
My wife took the kids and ran away 5 years ago. And I rent one of Potter's shacks. I've never seen you before.
Okay, okay. Just keep driving. Mary, kids, where is everybody? Petey, Janie, Zuzu, where are you?
This is just an abandoned house, George. You don't have a wife or children.
What happened to them?
In there. Officer. That's him. He's off his rockers. Hold it, you two. This is the police. Put your hands up.
Bart the cop. Wait, it's me.
Take it easy, mister. Come along quiet like. We'll get you some help.
Bart, what's happened to you? Look, it's this guy here. He's an angel. He's hypnotized me.
Uh-huh. I'm taking the both of you. Ow, let go of me, you.
Now's your chance, George. Run!
Ow, bite me, will ya?
Hey, now you wouldn't beat up an old angel, would you? Huh? Wait. Boss, help me! Help me!
What the? Hey, Ernie, where'd the guy go? I don't know. He just disappeared. The other ran south, down Sycamore. Come on!
I'm sorry, George.
You again? My mother, she didn't recognize me. What is this place? Where's the housing development? Bailey Park. My dad and I built it right here.
As you can see, it's a cemetery, George.
Cemetery? Where are the houses? The people?
Oh, they're here, George. They're here.
What?
Amidst these tombstones, Martini's buried here. Little Blaine girl, and your father, and right next to him.
Harry Bailey, dead.
Your little brother fell through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
No! Harry got the Medal of Honor. Harry saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died, George.
How?
Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry.
Me.
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. You know, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Wonderful?
The kingdom of heaven is spread upon the earth, but men do not see it. Don't you see? See what a mistake it would be to throw your life away, George?
What about Mary? Please, tell me where my wife is. Tell me where she is.
You won't like it, George.
What's become of her? Where's my wife? Where is she? Tell me, or do I have to choke it out of you?
She never married. She's an old maid. She works at the library. She just closed up for the night, but she... George, come back! Oh, there must be an easier way to get my wings.
Mary,
I'm sorry, sir. The library's closed.
No, Mary. It's me, George. George, come on, you know me.
No, I don't know you. Excuse me.
Mary, I got you. I want you. Please.
No, stop! Let go! Somebody help me! He's mad! Ah!
Clarence, where are you?
Here I am, George. So, are you gonna jump off this bridge again?
No, Clarence. I want the things back the way they were. Just give me back to my wife and kids, Clarence. I want to live again.
That's the spirit, George. Don't despair. Always be willing.
Oh, yes. Can you do it? Can you do it for me, Clarence, please? I want to live again. God, let me live again. Yes, let me live again. Yes, God, I want to live again. Yes, God, please.
George, what are you doing here?
Huh? Bert? Hey, if you come any closer, I'll...
What in the Sam Hill are you yelling about, George?
What? George? George? Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you, George.
Why, Bert, I'm alive again. Alive again!
Are you all right, George? You know, your mouth is bleeding.
My mouth? Hey, it is bleeding. Look at the blood oozing out there. And oh, Zuzu's petals, I have them in my right pocket over. There they are. They're in my pocket. Hey, Merry Christmas, Bert. I'm going home. I know my way home. Boy, do I know my way home. Merry Christmas, Bert.
Merry Christmas, George.
What? Oh, reporters. The sheriff, yes. And you.
Carter, bank examiner. Mr. Bailey, your books show a deficit.
Yes, I know. $8,000, right?
George, I've got a warrant for your arrest here.
Yes, a warrant, Sheriff. Jail? Isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas! Yes! Oh, I love you so! Where's your mother?
Out looking for you with Uncle Billy. Daddy!
Zuzu, Ginger Snap, how are you feeling?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge? Hallelujah!
George? George? Mommy's home! Mommy!
Mary!
George, where did you go?
Mary!
Oh, George.
Mary, I have to touch you, I have to hold you. Oh, you have no idea what's happening.
You have no idea what's happened.
George, look what I've got.
Uncle Billy!
Money, George. Bushels of money. Mary worked a miracle. Didn't you, Mary?
People heard you were in trouble, dear. Your friends. They pitched in to help you. The $8,000.
And Mr. Gower, thank you. I can't believe it. Ernie!
Well, none of us would have a roof over our head if it wasn't for you, George. George. We love you, George.
And Harry?
George, Mary called us in from Washington. I flew in as fast as I could. Come on, everybody, a toast. Harry! Yes, a toast to my brother, George, the richest man in town. To George!
George, somebody left a book here under the tree.
Why, it's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Yeah, there's an inscription. Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks to the wings. Love, Clarence.
Clarence?
Yeah, he's a very dear friend of mine.
Daddy, look! See my little bell hanging on the Christmas tree?
I see it, Zuzu.
I hung it up there all by myself. Daddy, Mrs. Welch says every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings.
That's right, Zuzu. That's right. Thank you, Clarence. Thank you. It truly is a wonderful life. Happy landings.
For all thanks, my dear, for all thanks, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for all thanks.
It's a Wonderful Life, based on Frank Capra's film, was adapted for radio by Tony Palermo. Our stage manager was Alea Lewis. Lights and sound was done by Maddie Townley, Rose Griffith, and Spencer Hurst. Directed by Lena Webb, student director, and Michaela Witten, faculty director. Our radio troupe featured as Mr. Gower, Jack Slaughter. As Ma Bailey, Karis Camper. As Sam Wainwright, Jack Slaughter. As Mr. Potter, Quentin Nicholson. As Pop Bailey, Jacob Rose. As the superintendent, Annie Zaldivar. As Clarence, Nathan Filipiak. As Mary Bailey, Adeline Williams. And as George Bailey, Brennan O'Reilly. And as select characters, Matthew Hill, Ellie Rowland, Andrew Van Dyke, Caden Berg, Noah Harrell, and Caitlin McGuire. I'm your announcer, Jacob Rhodes. Tune in again next time. This has been a very merry production of the CHS Radio Theater. Want to stay in touch with more CHS events and announcements? Follow at CHS Blue Demons on Instagram. That's CHSBLUEDEMONS. Want to see more about our theater arts and some behind the scenes of rehearsals? Follow at chs.thespian3070 on Instagram. That's chs.thespian3070.